Manipulation isn't always loud. It's the quiet edit of your perception. When someone controls how you see, they control what you choose. So let's name the patterns and give you exits you can use today. Clear, simple, no drama. Gaslighting. It starts small. A memory of yours gets dismissed. You're too sensitive. That never happened. The corrections drip one by one until you stop trusting your own senses. You hesitate before speaking. You look to them to confirm your reality. That hesitation is the point. At home, last night's promise becomes, you misunderstood me. At work, a manager swears the deadline was always different. In both places, the script is the same. Your facts are wrong, your feelings are overreacting, their version is the only version that counts. So, how do you deal with it? You anchor yourself to evidence. You write things down, time, place, exact words, how your body felt. You read your notes, not their tone. When the rewrite starts, you keep it short. Here's what I remember. Here's what I wrote at the time. You don't argue about your sanity. You don't audition your pain. You state the fact once, then move to a boundary. We can continue if we stick to the same facts. If not, I'm stepping away. You stop explaining to people who pretend not to understand. You stop chasing their approval. You slow the conversation to your pace. You get clear. The goal isn't to win the debate. The goal is to protect your reality. Love bombing. It feels perfect, fast. Day 3 and you're meant to be. Future plans, inside jokes, playlists, gifts, big words. Your phone lights up like a slot machine. Good morning, good night, 100 micro-touches in between. It feels amazing, and that's the problem. The speed is the sell. The rush is the leash. Here's what's really happening. Intensity substitutes for intimacy. Promises stand in for patterns. They're borrowing your trust from tomorrow to spend it today. You start craving the high, so when it dips, you chase. That push-pull keeps you hooked. So how do you deal with it? You slow the pace on purpose. Keep your routines. See friends. Sleep. Eat. Work. Don't let romance reorganize your entire week in one weekend. You move from vows to verbs. That sounds nice. What does that look like on Tuesday at 7? Then you watch what they do. Consistency over charm. Small commitments tell you the truth. You stay specific and steady. I'm enjoying getting to know you. I'm not ready to make big decisions. No shared keys, passwords, loans, or life merges early. No rushing milestones to prove your feelings. You check for pressure. If I adore you turns into if you loved me, you'd name it. That's pressure, not care. Then set the tempo. I need to go at a steady pace. If that doesn't work for you, we're not a fit. You document, not dramatize. Note dates kept, plans honored, how you feel after, calm or spun out. Real care makes your life larger, not smaller. Real interest respects your no and your calendar. Turn down the volume so you can hear the signal. The right thing won't mind the time it takes. Triangulation. When someone can't win directly, they bring in a third point. Another person, a vague everyone, a higher authority. Suddenly you're not solving a problem, you're defending yourself against a chorus. Comparison replaces conversation. Pressure replaces clarity. At home, it sounds like your brother thinks I'm right. Even your friends said you're difficult. At work, the client hated your idea, delivered with no names, no quotes, no notes, just heat. Online, a screenshot with no context becomes a verdict. The third point isn't there to help. It's there to make you small. Here's the mechanism. They outsource leverage. By borrowing someone else's voice, they skip accountability. You start arguing with ghosts, faceless opinions you can't question or verify. You burn energy proving you're not the villain in a story you didn't write. So how do you deal with it? You collapse the triangle. Bring the talk back to 2 points. If this is about you and me, let's keep it between us. If a real person is named, great, let's loop them in. Group chat or meeting. If they refuse, you treat it as hearsay and move on. You demand specifics over vibes. Who said what, when, and in what words? No names, no time, no quote. Then it's not data, it's pressure. You decline to solve vague accusations. I don't act on anonymous feedback. You stop competing in invisible contests. I'm not available for comparisons. You won't race against a story you can't see. You redirect to the need. What do you want from me right now? Force the request into daylight. You avoid defending an empty chair. Don't rebut the third party's feelings delivered second hand. I'm happy to discuss their concern with them present. With just us, let's stick to your concern. You make receipts your anchor. Save emails, decisions, agreed criteria. When others appear, you answer with the record. Dates, outcomes, commitments. Facts, not theatre. And you set the boundary calmly. If feedback needs a third person, we'll talk together. If not, let's keep it direct. Otherwise, I'm stepping away. When the triangle collapses, the control leaks out with it. Stonewalling, silence as strategy. No reply, no eye contact, no answers. Just a locked door you're supposed to pick. The quiet isn't neutral, it's pressure. You scan for what you did wrong, rehearse apologies and offer deals to end the freeze. You're trained to chase connection you didn't break. At home, it shows up after a small disagreement. Phone face down, rooms crossed like countries, a week of single-syllable replies. At work, a manager goes dark on decisions, then blames the delay on your lack of initiative. In both, the silence is designed to move you first, cheaper than an argument and safer than owning a feeling. Here's the mechanism. Deprivation creates compliance. When attention is withheld, your nervous system panics. You overfunction, explain more, text more, accept more blame, to restore contact. The message lands. Your needs cost closeness. Their withdrawal controls the climate. So how do you deal with it? Name the pattern without drama. I notice we've stopped communicating. Avoid mind reading. Avoid apology fishing. Offer a clear path back. I'm available to talk today between 7 to 8 or tomorrow after 5. If you need space, say how long and how we'll reconnect. Space has terms, punishment doesn't. Refuse to decode silence. Don't send essays. Don't bargain with guesswork. One concise message, then step back. Let the person who closed the door be the one to open it. Set time boundaries. If we can't speak by Friday, I'll make the decision on my own. Or if silence continues, I'll take a break from this conversation for a week. Consequences teach better than pleas. Separate cooling off from control. Cooling off includes a time frame, I need 2 hours, accountability, I'll text at 8, and goodwill. Stonewalling has none. Treat them differently. Anchor your nervous system. Breathe, move, call a friend, write a single-page dump you won't send. Twin goals. Reduce reactivity, keep dignity. At work, move to process. To move forward, I need sign-off by Wednesday 3 p.m. If I don't hear back, I'll proceed with option B per last agreement. Document requests, decisions and timestamps. Silence loses power against a record. And set the boundary. I don't engage in silent standoffs. When you're ready to talk respectfully, I'm here. Until then, I'm focusing on other parts of my life. You cannot negotiate with a closed door. You can refuse to stand outside it. If this helped, tap like, drop a comment with how you've handled stonewalling, and subscribe to Deep Dust so you don't miss the next parts. DARVO. Deny. Attack, reverse victim and offender. You name a harm, they flip the frame. First, it never happened. Then your tone, your timing, your flaws are on trial. By the end, you're apologizing for bringing it up while the original harm disappears under smoke. At home, you describe a cutting remark. They go straight to tears or rage. I can't believe you'd accuse me after all I do. Now you're soothing them. At work, you flag a boundary or policy breach. They counter with harassment, witch hunt, or poor teamwork. The conversation migrates from the behavior to your character. Here's the mechanism. Role confusion hijacks empathy. Humans reflexively comfort the victim. If they seize that role fast and loud, the room tilts toward them. You get dragged into defending your right to speak instead of the facts you came to discuss. So, how do you deal with it? Name the pattern without theatrics. You're denying what happened and attacking me for raising it. Let's return to the behavior. Anchor to specifics. Date, time, action, impact. On Tuesday at 3 p.m., you forwarded my draft with mocking comments to the group. I felt humiliated. I want that to stop. Keep it narrow. One event, one request. Refuse the character trial. I'm not discussing my personality. I'm discussing this action. If they bring up your history, reply, noted for another time. Today we're on Tuesday's email. Separate intent from impact. Your intention may not have been harm. The impact was harmful. I'm asking for a change in behavior. Don't let I didn't mean it end the conversation. Stay on process. We're going to speak in turns, no interrupting, no insults. If they escalate, pause. This is becoming an attack. I'll re-engage when we can stay on the topic respectfully. Invite a witness or structure. Let's include HR, a mediator, a family counsellor. DARVO shrivels in documented spaces, shared notes, recorded next steps, timelines. Use closed-loop requests. Going forward, do not comment on my work in group threads. Send edits privately by end of day. Then confirm in writing. Receipts over drama. Set consequences early and calm. If this pattern continues, I'll stop responding in real time and escalate through policy. Or at home, if you deny an attack again, I will end the conversation and leave the room. And protect your nervous system. Breathe. Ground. Step away if your body goes into defense. You're not required to litigate your reality against a script designed to flip it. You're required to keep yourself safe, clear, and steady. Projection. They unload what they can't tolerate in themselves and hang it on you. Their envy becomes your arrogance. Their carelessness becomes your laziness. Their flirting becomes your unfaithfulness. You start defending against traits that aren't yours, while the real issue sits untouched in them. At home, you hear, "You're always angry," said by the person who slams doors and mutters insults. You only think about yourself, from the partner who never asks a question back. At work, you're disorganized, from the manager who misses every deadline and forwards the scramble to your inbox at 10 p.m. The mirror is pointed at you so they can avoid looking into it. Here's the mechanism. Projection reduces shame. If the flaw is yours, they don't have to change. The mind trades accountability for relief. Over time, you internalize their labels and police yourself for sins you didn't commit. That's the trap. So, how do you deal with it? Name what's happening without diagnosing motives. You're describing traits that don't match my actions. Let's stick to specific behaviors. Ask for receipts. What did I do or say exactly? When? In what words? Vague labels turn to mist when they meet dates, times, and quotes. Do a quick integrity scan. If 5% is yours, claim that 5% precisely, no more. I was short this morning, that's on me. Then return the rest. The rest doesn't fit, I'm not taking it. Refuse character verdicts. I'm not discussing who I always am, I'll discuss what happened on Tuesday. Replace identity attacks with event reviews. Return ownership cleanly. That sounds like something you're feeling or doing. If you'd like support addressing it, say so. I won't carry blame that isn't mine. Redirect to requests. What do you want done differently going forward? Turn labels into actionable asks, or end the loop if none exists. Use boundaries on smear terms. If the conversation includes name-calling, I will pause and try again later. Step away when the labels become weapons. Document patterns. Keep a simple log of claims versus evidence, decisions versus outcomes. When the same accusation reappears, you'll have a record, not just a feeling. And regulate your body first. Projection is sticky because it hooks shame. Breathe, ground, speak slowly. Calm turns accusations into puzzles you don't have to solve for them. You are not obligated to hold a mirror for someone who refuses to look. Keep your side clean, your records clear, and your labels accurate, and let theirs stay where they belong. Breadcrumbing. Small signals, no substance. A hey at midnight, a heart on your story, a promise to hang soon that never lands. It's attention as appetizer, a sprinkle of crumbs to keep you circling the table, hungry enough to stay, fed just enough not to leave. At home, it's the partner who sends sweet texts but won't plan a date, who dreams out loud but never books the thing. At work, it's the manager who praises your potential, dangles a promotion, and shifts the criteria every quarter. Online, it's perpetual reacting without relating. The pattern is the same. Light up your hope, then dim it before it becomes commitment. Here's the mechanism. Intermittent reward. Your brain chases the next hit precisely because it's unpredictable. The gap between signals turns into fantasy space. You fill it with meaning, they fill it with silence. You become the one doing the work, reaching out, proposing times, smoothing over misses. They keep the power by keeping you guessing. So how do you deal with it? Name it plainly. We're in a pattern of low-effort contact without follow-through. Move from vibes to calendar. Pick a day and time. If they can't commit, you assume the answer is no. Use a two-ask rule. You invite twice, clearly. If they don't meet you with a concrete plan, you stop initiating. Effort should be reciprocal, not heroic. Set minimums. I need consistent weekly time, clear next steps, a defined scope. Minimums aren't demands, they're clarity. Track consistency, not chemistry. Notice kept plans, not big words. Notice how you feel after interactions, steady or spun out. If the aftermath is confusion, that's data. Don't negotiate for crumbs. No, maybe later. No, when things calm down on repeat. If they have time to sprinkle, they have time to show up. You don't argue this, you observe it. Protect your bandwidth. Mute threads that ping without purpose. Channel your energy into people who match it. The right fit doesn't need constant reminding. Say the boundary once. I'm not available for casual touch-ins without real plans. If you want to see me offer a time, then let silence answer the question. Remember, attention is not affection, and interest without investment is theatre. When you stop following crumbs, you find out quickly who knows how to serve a meal. Guilt-tripping. A sigh. A heavy pause. After all I've done for you. The message is simple. Care is a loan, and you're late on payments. Your no becomes betrayal. Your boundary becomes cruelty. You stop choosing and start atoning. At home, it's the parent who keeps a scoreboard of favors, the partner who goes quiet and hurt when you set a limit. I guess I just don't matter. At work, it's the colleague who dumps tasks and says, if you were a team player, you'd help. Right before your deadline. In both places, affection and approval are offered as coupons you must redeem with compliance. Here's the mechanism. Guilt hijacks your prosocial wiring. We're built to repair harm. If normal disappointment is framed as moral failure, you rush to fix feelings instead of evaluating the actual request. They get their way. You get a knot in your stomach and a calendar full of obligations you didn't choose. So how do you deal with it? Name the move without shaming. That sounds like guilt, not a request. Separate feeling from obligation. I hear you're disappointed. That doesn't mean I can say yes. Ask for the concrete ask. What exactly are you asking me to do? By when? If there's no clear action, there's nothing to decide. Use the broken record. One calm sentence repeated. I can't do that. If pressed, I still can't. No essays. No alibis. Replace debt language with choice language. I appreciate what you did. I didn't agree to an ongoing obligation. Offer what you can, once. I can help for 30 minutes on Thursday if you want to. If not, skip the offer entirely. No is a full sentence. Refuse martyr math. Let's not keep score. If we need fairness, we can set a plan, not a ledger. Call out public pressure. I won't decide in front of other people. Move the conversation or end it. Set consequence for repeat patterns. If guilt enters the conversation, I'll pause and we can try again later. And anchor your body. Guilt is loud in the chest. Breathe, slow down, feel your feet. Make the decision from values, not from panic. Care freely given is love. Care extracted with shame is control. You don't owe access for avoiding someone else's discomfort. Hoovering. The vacuum after you pull away. The sudden I've changed, the late night emergency, the playlist of your songs, the photos you forgot to delete suddenly arriving with miss us. It's not about reunion. It's about re-entry, sucking you back into a cycle you already mapped. At home it arrives as a crisis ping. I'm at the hospital, I can't live without you. I finally booked therapy, please come talk. Then somehow the appointment gets rescheduled, the promise thins, the cycle resumes. At work, it's the boss who ignored your boundaries until you gave notice. Now comes the counter-offer, the flurry of we value you, the vow of real changes, with no plan beyond your signature disappearing from the resignation letter. Here's the mechanism. Intermittent reward plus nostalgia. Your brain remembers the highs more than the pattern. Add urgency, health scare, family drama, financial meltdown, and your empathy outruns your memory. You step in to stabilize, and the old dynamics reboot under a new headline. So how do you deal with it? Name the pattern up front. This is contact only after distance, classic hoovering. I'm not returning to the old cycle. Slow the decision to a crawl. No same-day reunions, no on-the-spot yes. I'll consider this in a week. Time shrinks illusions. Trade vows for verifiable steps. Send me your therapy schedule after 3 attended sessions. Put the new boundaries in writing and follow them for 30 days. Words don't count until they become timestamps. Keep it public and structured. If you must meet, choose daytime, neutral location, time-boxed. At work, loop in HR or a manager. Documentation drains manipulation. Refuse crisis bait. If you're unsafe, call emergency services or a trusted local person. I'm not the crisis line. Empathy without entanglement. Use the no jade rule. Don't justify, argue, defend, or explain. One sentence is enough. I'm not returning. Repetition is stronger than debate. Protect your channels. Mute, block, or filter as needed. Remove shared logins, locations, and smart home access. Stop the vacuum at the outlet. Lean on your record, not your feelings. Read your notes from the last break. Dates, events, how you felt. Memory is a poet. Your log is a judge. Set a hard boundary with a measurable gate. If there's 6 months of consistent change, we can revisit. Until then, no contact. Then keep it, and regulate the ache. Hoovering doesn't just pull on hope, it pulls on grief. Move your body, call your people, sit with the sadness without making it a compass. Missing someone isn't the same as being meant for them. People can change, but cycles repeat unless the system changes. Require proof over pleading, patterns over promises, and peace over nostalgia. Smear campaigns. When they can't control you, they try to control your reputation. Stories appear half-true, context-free, or invented outright. People say you changed. Everyone saw what you did. The goal isn't accuracy, it's isolation, so you return for relief. At home, it's relatives concerned because they heard you're unstable. At work, it's side-channel whispers about your attitude right after you set a boundary. Online, it's vague posts with just enough detail to bait you into defending yourself in public. Add flying monkeys, well-meaning messengers who carry their narrative, and suddenly you're on trial in rooms you've never entered. Here's the mechanism: preemptive framing. If they tell the story first, your facts look like excuses. You waste energy correcting impressions while the behavior that triggered everything goes unexamined. Social pressure does what direct control couldn't. So, how do you deal with it? Do not fuel the rumor engine. No subtweets, no cryptic posts, no point-by-point threads. Publish less than you log. Go direct, not one-to-one. Calm, factual. You may hear X. Here's what actually happened. Date, action, outcome. If you have questions, ask me. Then stop. Your credibility is consistency, not volume. Create a brief record. A simple for the record note. Event, impact, boundary, next step. Send it to relevant stakeholders only. Documentation outlasts drama. Decline group interrogations. I don't discuss private matters in public forums. Happy to address concerns with the right people present. Name the tactic without name-calling. This feels like a smear. Claims without specifics spread to third parties. I'll engage when feedback is direct and documented. Invite structure. Let's include HR, a mediator, both parties with notes. Smears fade under lights. Protect your references and future. Give a short heads up to people whose opinion actually matters. You may be contacted about me. Here are the facts, and here's my work product record. Don't argue. Anchor. Secure your channels. Update passwords, privacy settings, and shared accounts. If defamation crosses into harassment, collect evidence and follow policy or legal routes. And remember the quiet metric. How do you feel after contact? Smaller or steadier? Your body knows before the group chat does. This is the end of the series, so a final word to you. You are not too sensitive. You are sensitive enough to notice patterns. Keep your notes. Keep your boundaries. Slow decisions to the speed of truth. Choose people who match your clarity. Heal in boring ways. Sleep, movement, sunlight, honest friends, honest work. Peace isn't dramatic. It's repeatable. Thank you for being here with Deep Dust. If this spoke to you, please like, drop a comment with the pattern you're unlearning, and subscribe so we can keep building a saner space together. Take what serves you, leave what doesn't, and take good care.